As a communication major during my 3 years being here at Monmouth, there has always been 3 prominent organizations that are known well throughout the communications department and that most comm students know whether they are involved in them or not. I like to refer to them as the Big 3. Last Tuesday and Wednesday, I got a chance to document the Big 3 of Plangier. One of the prominent organizations is Hawk TV, which is student run and produced, with shows that consist of news, sports, and pop culture related topics and segments. I was able to have a conversation with Hawk TV member Ian Epstein, who is a senior that's going to be graduating and leaving in the spring semester, to discuss what the organization has meant to him and what it offers.
So, Ian, how is your experience at Hawk TV? Like, what got you to go to Hawk TV?
So, my first time I've been to Hawk TV was because of my cousin, Luca Morello, who is now a Hawk TV alum. He's been an alum for about 2 years, I believe. He brought me into Hawk TV, and I just had no clue what it was. And I went to one shoot, and I really, really enjoyed being there and getting to learn. And I think my experience here is actually what caused me to change my major. At first, I was undecided, thinking I wanted to go into accounting, and then I liked the different stuff we were doing. I liked being on camera. I liked shooting on a camera. I liked all the different technical directing and audio stuff, and I think that's what brought me into my major. So I'd have to give him credit for kind of bringing me into this world of broadcasting.
What is your biggest takeaway? Because you're about to be a senior spring semester, or you're a senior now, and you're about to graduate spring semester. What's your biggest takeaway from Hawk TV?
I'd say my biggest takeaway was the experience of having the technology available to you is very important, because I feel like a lot of schools, from what I know, they don't let you use that technology till much later. Rather, this club offers the opportunity to kind of give you that availability, and you get to learn from people who have been doing it for so long. You know, I learned from people in the club who've been doing it for all their time there, and now I get to teach that to other people. So it's such an amazing experience. Is one of the reasons why I like this club.
And my last question, what's the importance of Hawk TV? What do you think is the biggest reason it should stay as a club?
First off, to that question, I think that this space provides so much freedom and access to any kind of content you want to make, whether it's sports content, like news content. I'm the producer of Triple Scoop, so we do a lot of like television, film, and music kind of things. So it gives you that access to, like, if you want to make something, you have the technology to do so, because you're pretty much paying to use the technology in your like when you're paying for it. I think another thing about this club is not just the technological aspect, but also the people you meet, because I think you do get access to technology, but like you get to be a part of something bigger. You get to create something with other people, and you get to form those bonds that are very important in the future, because a lot of communications jobs require that connection, and connecting with alumni or connecting with just trying to find, most of the jobs that you will find are from other people, and it's very important to make those connections, and this club allows you to do so.
The next prominent organization is The X, which is also known as WMCX, which is a radio station located upstairs in Plangier, which is student run, and students are able to produce their own radio shows, get experience on air, do their own promos, have fun, and have creative freedom. I was lucky to have a conversation with Dean Heidel, a senior that has been a part of the X for 2 years, where he talks about his experience and what he has learned being a part of the X.
What's the coolest thing about WMCX?
Is that you just get to be so creative. Definitely the best thing about my job, at least at WMCX, is every week going on, putting on a show, and trying to be different, funny, unique each time, and just talking about what I love talking about. And just, you know, it really is just a bunch of us just sitting around talking about sports or stuff that makes us happy, sad. You know what I mean? It's such a good atmosphere, and the guys that I do my show with, I'm really, really close with. So I'm grateful for that. We just get to go on, talk about sports, and it's so much fun. And I'm blessed to say that I've done it for 2 years now, almost, as of April of next year. So it's great.
And what's the biggest takeaway that you got for being on the radio and having your own show and being a talk host?
I would say my biggest takeaway is to be yourself and to not be afraid to be yourself. I remember there was a lot of shows that I did in which I tried to mimic or kind of copy my style off of different broadcasters or radio hosts, and that especially came with broadcasting games and doing play-by-play or color commentaries, that you listen to guys like Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Joe Buck, and you're like, wow, these guys are doing it. So you naturally kind of inherit their style. But I remember I got to a point where I was like, this isn't really working and I don't really like this. So it's like, how do I find my own style? But that's something that I'm still working on, and that's something that I still want to develop past WMCX. But that's something that I kind of really learned about myself, is just to be myself and then not be afraid with hearing my voice and, you know, being myself to a large audience of people.
What's the experience when it comes to technology and all that aspect that the WMCX offers?
Yeah, so WMCX has offered a lot in terms of just learning the different boards that we have here, the board right in front of me. The production room is where I do a lot of my work as production director, uploading different sound bites, clips, or even promos, sometimes even music to the studio, working with the music director. There's a lot that I've learned, and especially this board. I mean, we just got this new board this year, transitioning over from the old board that I worked with my past 3 years, and learning the new one has been great. Even the Comrex and stuff that we use for calling games, it definitely offers a lot, but it's one of those things where it's like you get out of it what you put in. So you learn more the more you do. Even the recorder, taking phone calls, there's a lot of cool stuff that I learned, and that was because, you know, me and my co-hosts, or the guys I work with, or the girls I work with too in the production room, that we're trying to go above and beyond and just put on the best possible show or product on the station that we can.
I guess my last question, actually 2 questions. What is the best word to describe the WMCX, as a collective?
That's a good one. Wait, can you ask me the second one? I actually gotta think of a good word for that. I gotta think of that.
What's your favorite thing on the wall? Because there's so many pictures and design.
On the wall?
Yeah.
Oh man, that wall is hilarious. There's a lot of good pictures on it, but I would say my favorite part is where we actually sign our names where you graduate. That's great. And you know, we just had some people sign their names. A lot of e-board members that I was with already signed their name on that wall. And in just a few short months, I'll be signing my name on that wall. So it's crazy how time has flied, and it's nice to see so many names, so many talented people sign that wall, and now they're off to do bigger and better things. So it's cool. It's really nice to see all the alumni and so many people that were in the club that I'm a part of now. And very, very soon my name will be on that wall too. So it's nice to think about that, and it's something I'm honestly excited for.
And have you figured out what that word to describe?
Word? Oh man, that's so tough. There's so many I could use, but if I had to absolutely pick one word, I would say it's kind of you might think it's a cheap or kind of a cliche word, but I would say connected. There's so many moving parts to a radio station, and even though all of our jobs are individualized more, is that I don't really work with the music directors or anything like that. We kind of have different roles, or even the sports directors. You're only as strong as your weakest link. So everyone has to work together to put their best possible product on the air. And even when I'm broadcasting a game, your play-by-play, your color guy, they have to be connected, even connected with your board ops, when they go live and stuff like that, how you sound. And of course with your co-hosts, of course you have to be connected, or else how are you going to put on a good show? You and your co-hosts, they got to be linked in together, you got to know what you're talking about, and you need good chemistry too. So that's what makes on-air shows so special, is just chemistry. So honestly, being connected and chemistry, I would say, are two of my words. You can pick or choose either one, I'd say, but they're both very important for radio.
But there is one more missing that makes it a big three. The last prominent organization, which is the Outlook. The Outlook is a newspaper at Monmouth, which is student-led. It gives students a chance to be investigators, writers, and get that news reporting and news writing experience. I got a chance to sit down with Mairead Spelsey, who is a senior that's going to graduate in spring, just like Dean and Ian. And she talked about her experience and what she also got out of her organization, the Outlook.
Coolest thing or experience that you got out of the Outlook?
That's a really good question, because there's been so many different stories and things that we've gotten to cover. I would say the coolest experience, I always think about this because my freshman year, it was the first, I think it was actually I want to say maybe the third article I wrote, but the first time I had written for the sports section. And that's the section that I really was looking forward to writing for, and the section that I wanted to focus on the most. And so I started writing for that section. And my first ever article for that section was one of our women's basketball players who had hit 1,000 points. And so I had the opportunity to interview her when she hit 1,000 points, and she's graduated now, but I had the opportunity to interview her, and that was my first sports story. And so I always think about that. I have it printed out and put up in my office. And yeah, I would have to say that was probably, because it was the first moment, the first big moment for me. But also just when I look throughout the years, one of the ones that sticks with me the most.
As a senior, what experience have you gotten since being in Outlook, professional or just, I guess, hands-on experience? So
much experience, and in so many different areas too. I've obviously gotten the experience of writing, because for what I want to go into in journalism, I've just been able to hone my skills and deepen my skills when it comes to just writing in itself, and just how to write, the dynamic, so many certain things and specific things when it just comes to writing in general. I have been able to hone skills when it comes to editing, and being the editor-in-chief this year. It's not just editing, but it's also, I've learned so much more when it comes to leadership skills, and when it comes to what it looks like to lead a newsroom, and to lead other editors, and just how to do that. And so it's been amazing to not just gain skill when it comes to writing and editing and those things that you need in a newsroom, and to pursue a career in this, but it's also been great to gain skills of just leadership, and time management and all those kinds of things.
What does the Outlook offer for any other student?
It offers everything I just explained, for sure. Writing, editing, just being able to gain skills in, like I said, leadership, time management, all those things. But another aspect I think that it really offers for students as well is what it looks like to be a part of a team. Because as journalists, you are covering things specifically. You are covering, it's one person or maybe two people covering one specific story. But when you step into a newsroom, you have an entire team. So you have your editor-in-chief, but you also have your editors. You have people that might work on social media. You have photographers. You have all different people that work in part of the team. And so it definitely has It offers the ability to, work independently on certain things, but it also offers the opposite side of that when it comes to being part of a team and what that looks like.
Now you know who and what the Big Three is and what they offer to students.